Hello, my name is Agustin, and I want to read a few pages from my book that's coming out, The Solitude of Destiny. It's a book written in the style of magical realism. So I'd like to share this with you. The chapter is titled Mary Magdalene, or The Pink Envelope, and you'll see why. Today I received an unsigned letter in the mail. Well, not in the mailbox, as the local letter carrier delivered it straight to me at the cafe where I hang out in the mornings to have my usual. His name is Bulmaro, but everyone calls him Bull. So he walks up and right in the middle of my croissant and espresso, and just as I was writing about Rufino the Conqueror, no less, he said he was looking for me for days because this one particular letter smelled very refreshing and lovely, not at all like the others that come in a white envelope with Señor Jaguar scribbled on them. This one was addressed to Dr. Healer Jaguar, son of Izquierdo, Oaxaca City, Oaxaca, Mexico. It was in a bright pink envelope with beautiful, ornate handwriting, obviously a woman's, and it was decorated with tiny little flowers all around, and get this, no return address. Well, I was surprised to receive such correspondence, and rather pleased, I must say, because someone had taken the time to write me, to find me in Oaxaca City, where I did not live. Someone took the time to draw little doodles on the envelope, as if in love, or maybe during a phone conversation filled with arid thoughts of sex and rock and roll. Perhaps the sketches meant nothing. Maybe they did. I would certainly find out soon enough. I signaled the waiter to bring me a shot of sambuca, as I knew it was Bull's favorite drink. As I watched him swig it down in a hurry, I thought of the pink envelope, resisting opening it in front of him. I did not want the gossip to start with fictional stories of my new love far away and such, stories that were passed around town before and stories that never came true. As people will believe anything and hold it against you, I walked on eggshells when it came to my life because it is no one's business what I do or who I do it with. Regardless, the truth does come out in the end, but even so, the idea of living in privacy is still comforting. Bull slammed the shot glass on the cafe table, rocking the umbrella and surprising me, and before I could react, he was on his way. Granting him his favorite drink was my way of thanking him for delivering the envelope without a fuss. It was also in the form of a tip, or rather, it was my tip. If I gave him money, someone might report him to the authorities, and he'd be out of a job and a great future pension. I did not want to get him into trouble. Mexico was now trying desperately to destroy the very corruption it thrived on, the bribery that kept it well oiled and running, a vice that is the heartbeat of the country, all to no avail as Mexican politicians are weak, heartless, spineless men whose venom spews and drools on anyone traversing their path. These guys will readily steal from their mothers to get ahead in what they see as a free-for-all, greed-obsessed Mexico available to those willing to slit throats and kill without so much as battering an eyelid. The very president's brother was found to have embezzled millions of dollars in drug money he personally seized from the drug runners, thinking he could safely deposit it in a Houston bank and get away with it. Today, he was living in a high-security, white-collar prison in the States, while his brother, the ex-president, was in exile in Ireland. These men are the role models of Mexican politicians. The list goes on and on. Mexico would never rid itself of the corruption because it was a necessary good for all involved. Corruption in Mexico is not considered evil because it is the foundation of the very bureaucracy that condemns it. Well, I looked about now and noticed the city's plaza was uncharacteristically quiet this morning. The birds sang too gently. The sun was not quite bright. No wind to caress the trees. A siren in the distance rang its tune. An Indian woman walked her barefoot children to school as they followed close behind. A flotilla of army men marched the goose step as if ready to kill Indians. The Hertz rental office had not yet opened its doors. I decided to skip my second cup of espresso and headed to the local mercado down the street where an old one-armed lady served the best huevos con chorizo in all of Mexico. On the way there, I smelled the envelope, holding it close to my nose. I heard greetings from business owners as I passed by, but did not respond as I was in my own little world thinking of the future. The shop owners shrugged shoulders, dismissing me in return. I often spent time talking to them and buying little trinkets to befriend them, as I knew one day I would need them. More so, I took my visiting American friends to spend lots of money there. And the guy loved me. The envelope gave me giggles. It made me smile. It made me happy today because, even as Bull said, there is something special about this one, Doctor. People love to call me doctor because I had a PhD and because they consider me a healer. So it happens that I sat at Hermenegilda's luncheonette on one of the 1,000 stools in the mercado and began to read. Jaguar, 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 jaguar. You don't know me, okay? So I'll be blunt. It doesn't matter, does it? Like you would say in your own words. I am in love, 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 love with you. Now, I am sure that you are probably married or have a beautiful girlfriend or two. So, why not one more? I want not only to meet you, but be with you there at the desperate mile. I want to run around naked and happy. I have a royal blue thong in case I need one. I want to rebuild the jungle with big papaya trees and mangoes. I want to place fresh fish in the river. I want to be mute too and learn to read your mind and never speak. I want to have your children and smile and be innocent and meet Izquierdo too. It really doesn't concern me if you already have a family because I know the truth that to be with you is heaven on earth. My mother disagrees and says you are dangerous and I should stay away, but I just can't. I am not, she makes a list, neurotic or crazy I'm not demanding, nor materialistic, nor pushy, nor ignorant. I like Satie. Debussy feels. Get it, Jaguar, do you? Mozart Piano Concertos, number 21 and 25. I can live without U2 or the Stones, but not without Bob Dylan. Man, is he the poet of the 20th century, isn't he? Huh? I can paint real good and cook and sew and use the hammer to build things. I have a good chainsaw my daddy left me and some screwdrivers. My favorite book is 100 Years of Solitude and also Ishi, the last of his tribe. Pablo Neruda turns me on. He was an incredible poet, don't you think? Contemporary culture depresses me because it is all about ego and money. The young people today are so vapid. I'm not exactly old myself. I can bear or bore many children if I have to. Jaguar, you and me and you, I and you. Ha! Life is so down and depressing here in America. Kids are doing their bodies like entirely with tattoos. They do drugs and carry guns and have babies at 15. They are lost and daddyless or one parent family thing and go crazy with hate and self-hate. My daddy died just a few years ago, but he lived here with us even though he hated mommy. They fought and then went into the bedroom and made lots and lots of love and screamed dirty things I heard them say to each other and cried together and got drunk, and then like magic they hated each other again. Can you tell me what happened in America? Was it my fault? I was always a good girl, so good, I got sick of it. I did everything right. I didn't have hot sex with the guys at school like all the trailer trash chicks do. I'm in college, but bored because my visiting professor, Mr. Gracia, says to live life like you, Jaguar, like you, in order to write. At this point, I'm finished with the chorizo and eggs. I order a cup of cold atole. And me, just a young thing, want to go live there with you. I want to write and have courage someday. I don't have much now. In fact, I'm shaking as I write this silly letter. I'm smoking a cigarette, spelling in my underpants and blonde hair. Note to the reader, this excites me. I love smoking. I'm thinking of Jaguar the medicine man, writer, genius. I am sure you're sexy and good looking too. Why isn't there a picture of you in your books? Like in other writers' books? Are you afraid of being seen, found out? There are no secrets in life, my daddy used to say. But me, I will take some to my grave when I die. Oh, will you read my mind when we meet? Please don't write about my secrets in your book. It would be so embarrassing. So, I like to run, so I'm in good shape. I run about 8 miles a day and I'm faster than most guys. I think about a ton of things when I'm out there on the road, running, mostly breathing. I do not go out with guys here. They are too backward, so young and unmotivated. They think I'm weird because I love to read. Ugh. I want to do things with my life and go places and not stay here in this small town with no soul. Teresa down at the store is cool because she was in the theater in New York. Do you know her? And she likes to direct plays here at the wharf. Well, they call it the wharf, though there's no water for 100 miles. I dream of the ocean and whales and sea loins. Oh, sorry, wrong spelling. And I dream of the desperate river where the fish used to come to you in offering of themselves. I dreamt I was on a big kite flying over a lake and the birds were talking and I understood them. I talked to a plant the other day and it flowered the next day. I didn't even know the plant had flowers. My life is boring here, but I know that will all change when I meet you at the desperate mile. I think of myself as a complete human being. I met a Zen master who said, "Who you are today is who you have always been." I believe that. I live the triangle of life, the physical, the mental, the spirit. Take care of all three and you will be all right. Another note, at this point there's a neat little row of sunflowers separating the next passage in the letter. I love it so far. So when we meet, Jaguar, I'm going to scream probably real loud and maybe scare people a little bit, but not too much because I'll be excited and all that. Maybe I'll jump around too, like when my team wins on TV. I like to watch football on TV, the Miami Dolphins. Their outfits are real cool. I mean, their uniforms. My dad used to sit all Sunday and just watch games till midnight and all the highlights on the sports channel, but he wouldn't drink beer like fat men do all over the country on their couches and dirty feet, big bellies, and sweating heavily like elephants taking a shit. Sorry, I got out of hand. I like to get creative when I write and sort of lose it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm kind of trying to imitate you, but I'll find my own style and my voice someday. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Jaguar. You will not believe it, okay? Here I am, all alone in town. It's a way small town here in the middle of America. Yuck, actually. And the telephone rings, like off the hook, and falls to the linoleum floor, and I hear a little voice I recognize saying, "Hello, hello, are you there?" And it's my friend, well, not my friend, a friend's friend who I met a bit of a while ago, but three months, but I hadn't seen her. And she goes, "Mary Magdalene? That's my name, can you believe it? I mean, please." But I like it, now that I think of it, huh? "Mary Magdalene," she goes. "You will not believe who I met. Are you standing or sitting?" And well, I'm laying down on the kitchen linoleum floor answering the phone, speaking to her, and she didn't even let me answer. That's how really excited she was to get me. And here I am thinking maybe Tom Cruise or Johnny Depp, but she says, "I hear you like reading and the Solitude of Destiny changed your life." And me, dummy, I utter, "Yeah," or but before a thought comes out of my mouth, she says, she was in New York at this conference and she heard you speak at the Columbia University, and she cried and was the only one to speak up, and that you were brilliant and so moving, but only she got it of all these kids there. She won prizes for her writing, but nothing like you, or even like the River Sutra lady with the funny name. She writes boring stuff, this girl, that people say it's like Hemingway. Can you imagine how stiff that girl is? So I say, "And what did you two talk about?" She answers, "Are you sitting down?" But this time she actually waits for me to answer. She goes, "Okay, we did it." And then she pauses. And I asked, "Did what?" Real stupid like, and she laughs so long her stomach hurts. I don't even know this girl very well at all, so her laughing makes me feel sort of defensive, right? "We went and had ourselves some real sex," she says. "Oh, I get it now. He touched me deep inside at the lecture. I mean, if you listen real well to people you like, or even admire or respect, you can learn tremendous things. You can see yourself reflected on them in some ways. And when he spoke, I listened. He made me cry." "Is he a bastard?" I asked. "No, yes, well, maybe, but not then he wasn't. He spoke with such conviction. He got through to me, and I really cried because I don't want to be vapid and lost. I want my life to consist of laughter and money, money, money. I don't want my life to consist of laughter and money, money, money. And then, Doctor, the girl on the other line was quiet, and I was listening to what seemed her heartbeat, and she did this little sigh thing, and I got jealous because I didn't even know about the lecture. I couldn't have gone, but I would have liked to, even though later this girl told me it was for special writers. Her name is Bridget, and I am yours, Mary Magdalene.